Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to work on a model kit. Harold is hosting. Thank you so much, Harold, for that. I appreciate it very much. Harold throwing the emotes in the chat. If you're a currently subscriber, Jam just did it as well, and you've got the emotes, let me see them. Throw in the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote. Let the people know. If you're not a subscriber, consider becoming a subscriber. We did have a bit of a drop in numbers. Would love to see that bounce back up. Okay that it's not, but again, would love it. Lord Crashington just subscribed, said, keep up the great work, Pat. Thank you very much, Lord Crashington. Lashbrick is here. Hell yeah. Oh, because Lord Crashington renewed their 6 months at Tier 1, I got to do some sound effects with the old soundboard. So let's do... Yeehaw! All right, and of course, that's the actual soundboard one that I want to do, which is that one. Hello to everybody that's here. We are going to get into the building in just a moment or two. This is the pre-show segment where we just kind of chat a little bit, hang out, wait for, see if a few forks want to, a few more forks. We're waiting on a few forks. That's the thing I said out loud. We're waiting to see if a few more folks want to join us before we get to building, because we got some building to do, and we're excited to work on that. If you're wondering, Pat, did you end up getting new snipper clips? And the answer is yes. Are these good? No. Were they very inexpensive? Yes. Were they one-day delivery on Amazon? Yes. Free delivery, 1 day. These are not good. I don't really like the spring. I don't like how narrow the this part is compared to how wide the clippers are. Now, hopefully, I'm not going to break these clippers like I broke my original pair. You can see here. I do have at the very bottom of my Amazon wish list a nicer pair. It's something I'm probably going to pick up on my own at some point soon, perhaps with my Twitch money, which comes any day now. Usually the payout is around the 15th. So I might pick up that. But these are, look, honestly, when I get a new pair that's good, these are going to be great backups. These are going to be great support snipper clips if I'm doing a project with somebody else. If I just, need a pair, if my new pair breaks. These should not become my primary snippers because they are not going to be good. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. But they'll do it in a jam. So we're working on a cool car. Cool car. You can see here there's some yellow. It's a lot of yellow, so it's not good on the stream. But it's a cool vehicle. We got some good paint applications there. We are using, this is a Rust-Oleum product, testers, liquid cement for plastic. That's what we're using here. I bought this last year for the AE86, also from Initial D. I should point out, it's kind of hard to tell here because of the fact that it's yellow, but we'll look in the overhead. You can see that the two seats are different colors because the driver's seat is like custom, which is just you know what? They didn't have to do that, and they did that, and I like that. We are going to do some water transfers now. Originally, I wasn't going to do any water transfers on the interior because they are very small, but there's one that is a pretty decent piece here that is like the center console, and I think I can apply that. We are going to do exterior. We are definitely going to do some exterior to the shell here, which is all one piece, which is really nice. Of course, it's, again, impossible to see in this green screen. But it is, we are going to add the Red Suns logo, certainly. If not, also license plates and whatever. But yeah, I'm going to give myself a retweet here, see if anybody else wants to join in on the fun, and then we'll get started. But I hope you're having a good evening. Hope you're looking forward to a fun stream here with me. If it's still afternoon for you out there, welcome to it. If it's evening for you, hello. we're going to talk about some stuff that's going on. I can talk more about the anime awards now that I've put out my video where I break down my picks for the anime awards, and I talk about how it is travesty that some shows were not did not make the cut, but others did. It ended up in categories they don't belong in. Stars Align, a show I didn't watch because it's about tennis and I don't really care about that, but apparently is a good show. The ending theme is great. Did not make the cut, which is weird. But also, in my opinion, wasn't going to win anyway. So yeah, you can see these seats are different colors, which I like. I like this is definitely like the aftermarket seat. I think that's very cool. So what we're going to do is I cut out the general shape of what I need here. I'm putting it in some water. You can see I'm using a measuring cup because it's a small amount. I don't need a lot of water. And then we've got a Q-tip. We've got our tweezers. We can use our clips if we need to. We can use an X-Acto knife if we need to. And the real thing is here is if it's not perfect, it's okay. I cannot stress this enough to you that this is going to be inside the car and you're not going to see this, which is why I'm not doing some of the other ones because I'm just like, it doesn't really matter. You're not going to see the inside of this car. It's okay. And in fact, like the outside, I think it matters a little bit more, but none of it matters. It's all bells and whistles. It's all to steal a phrase, a term from my improv to sketch teacher, Ian Roberts. It's gingerbread. Because here's the thing: you have a good meal. It was a great time. Somebody brings out gingerbread, and you go, "Ooh, gingerbread! All right." But you have a great meal. It's done. You go and sit on the couch and talk to some people. You're not thinking to yourself, man, I wish there had been some gingerbread. You're never thinking, oh, I wish there had been some gingerbread. But you are thinking, this rules. That didn't show up here, so let's, there we go. Sorry about that. Ultron, thank you so much. That's a 14th month subscription, 14th month in a row. Thank you very much. Hello to you. Let's throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote into chat. Thank you so much for that. For doing that, I gotta refresh this here. But yeah, thank you for subscribing. Very much appreciate it. Jam's thrown in there as well, and of course, let's Epic Open World is here. Hello, Epic Open World. Thank you for renewing your subscription. It means a lot to me. Thank you to everybody who's a subscriber. Okay, so we put this in water here, so now we're going to try to remove what we need, and only what we need. And this one does not appear to be, okay, yeah, so it is transferring there, great. So we are going to wet our Q-tip here. We're going to find what we need. Now, I could have done this with the dash here before it had been attached. I didn't do that because I originally was not going to be applying this. So now we're just going to go and we're going to find where we need to put this. And then we're going to wet this here in order to move it and adjust it. Like that. Yes. This is on a slight angle. Great. So it's basically where I want it. And now we are going to take the dry end of a Q-tip. Hello, Epic Open World. Happy to have you here. And we're just going to pat this dry. So what we're going to make sure we're not doing is moving it because it's still wet. So this decal, if you can see it here, is still going to move. So we are just patting it. We are patting it. We are maybe rolling the Q-tip. We are just absorbing whatever moisture we have and letting it set. And then we are going to, because it's angled, because it is for the driver, and then we're going to leave that alone, and we're going to let that dry, because we have other things to do in this kit, which are right near it. But what I didn't want to do was put in the emergency brake and the shifter, and then have to put the decal on. So instead, we're doing that there. So that's that. Fairly simple. That was very easy. You never know with water transfers, because sometimes if it's a very old kit, they just don't want to do what you want them to do. And it's very frustrating. Okay, so we got the shifter here, which is going to go, basically, there's a little hole for it. It's going to go like that. I mean, you can't, I'm going to go real high here. That's what that's going to look like. We're going to add some glue to that and just put that back there. And then the e-brake is going to go next to it, and there's a little slot for the e-brake. So we're going to do the e-brake first, because it's going to require me to, who needs brakes, right, Epic World? I hear you, man. I mean, who needs an e-brake when you got regular brakes? I'm not right. E-brakes are important. Okay, so we're using our liquid cement here. What we're going to do is we are going to put a little bit where we need to go. And then we are going to put some here on our piece. And then we are going to apply it. And the nice thing is, while we're letting this set, and sit and set, because we're going to use our tweezers to hold it in place, hopefully, where we need it, we're just going to put it where it belongs, there. Let it set. And then we're just going to hold it with our finger where we want it. And we're going to let that liquid cement do its job and adhere those two pieces together. We could just leave this alone because it is saying where it should be, but we're going to put a little pressure on there to help out with the process. Just a little bit of pressure, nothing too serious. I want to say this, folks. We'll talk a little bit about the big gaming news of the day, which is that Sony announced that it will not be attending E3 this year. In part because they say that, you know, they're going to be looking at global initiatives and blah, 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 things of that nature, and that the current plans that the ESA has for E3 do not match with their own goals. And so the ESA put out a statement that just sounded like their marketing person put out a statement, not their PR, because it reads like marketing speak. Because look, I know what an activation is, and maybe you do too. Maybe you also know what an activation is. But that doesn't mean you could just say that word like it's not marketing speak that people don't use. You just can't use that yet. Someday, maybe you can say activation and people won't look at you like you are a zombie. In related news, I also won't be at E3, says Harold. Right? Right? But you get what I'm saying, though, right? Like, look, I'll tell you about a great activation. You want to hear about a great activation? In some PAXs and sometimes there have been instances where queues have been near each other. There have been multiple queues to go into different rooms, but the queues are near each other. So there's a large group of people sitting and waiting. And we're activating the bots. They said hundreds of events. Yeah. So a lot of queues at PAX, right? So a thing that's happened at some shows is, I believe PAX South is the one I'm definitely remembering, is Jackbox, the Jackbox folks, set up a projector and sound and all that, you know, with obviously with the blessing of and you know, set up by PAX, in between the queues. So while you're sitting in queue, waiting to get into the panels you're getting into, you play Jackbox games. That's an activation. It's different than having a booth. It's an interactive thing. It's an event. It is a way to engage a captive audience and a bunch of other bullshit marketing speak. But it's good. You go and wait in queue, and you go, oh yeah, Jackbox. Ooh, I've never played Quiplash. Ooh, Oh, that was fun. Oh, TK is long but good. Oh, cool. Oh, that murder party was fun. Like, it's street corner entertainment. Ultron, yes, it's something to do. Now at PAX East, they used to be set up. There were food areas, and in one there used to be Dance Central, and the other there would be Rock Band. And now there's not Rock Band anymore. And for a while there, the other spot was Jackbox. Now they have an even different spot by the juice places at PAX East. But it basically, they end up having this like ability to, yes, showcase their wares for an audience that is a captive audience and give them something more than just waiting in a line. And it's way better, in my opinion anyway, than the roaming group of enforcers that go to, entertain, quote unquote, my hands are full, queue lines. Because that is often not good. But like, you're waiting in line to get into a panel you want to go see, and you get to play You Don't Know Jack. That sounds rad. That's like really good. That's an example of good engagement, in my opinion. I'm sure there are other examples. That's the one that I always think of when people talk about activations and how they don't have to be bad. That's one that I know is great. I'm sure we can all think of a bunch of bad ones. I'm thinking about anytime any company decides the best course of action to promote their zombie thing is to hire actors to be zombies and bother people. I know there was a not a GDC. It was a Comic-Con. I wasn't at this Comic-Con, but there was a Comic-Con where they were like harassing people as they came out of the restroom, and it's like, hey, you can go fuck yourself. They will give away so many energy drinks. Yes, epic. You're waiting to get in line. You're waiting in a queue. You're outside the event, and someone's just got a big thing and just handing out drinks. Oh, yeah. Energy drinks and all that kind of thing. Like, that's a great activation. It allows a company to, like, get their word out of their product, and you end up with a positive impression. That sounds great. I know the E3 before the Wii launched had screens in the wall so that people like Charles Metnet could talk to people waiting hours to get in, which was also a bit creepy. So, Nintendo does that at the Nintendo store sometimes. There is a TV where they will sometimes have Charles Martinet just be Mario and talk to people and talk to kids. I got to see it. The best one to experience that was we were just there and it was happening, and I was there with Kotaku's Chris Kohler, then at Wired, who Charles and Chris know each other from, Chris being around for a really long time. Like you just see this animated Mario moving around, and then you hear, the matching lips with Charles Martinet talking. But he's got a camera, and he just goes, "Oh, it's my friend, Chris. Hi, Chris." And the kids are like, "You know Mario?" And it was like the fucking best, man. Like, I have been, approached at events by people who recognize me. I've been with people who are much more well known in certain circles, and they've been approached, but it has never felt cooler than when Mario said hi to Chris Kohler at the Nintendo Worlds. It was fucking awesome. It was such a cool thing. All right, so we're letting these dry here. We're going to push this aside. And it's time to install our screen and our rear view mirror. So we got to put our screen on here. Or our interior windows, I should say. I know Mario. Worship me, children. Yeah, it was just like a fucking really fun bit of business. The kids were just like, "Oh, friends with Mario." It was neat. God, before they shut down Charles Martinet's Vines, There's probably archives of them out there. Charles Martinet, the voice of Mario, and Luigi, and the voice of everybody, just about, was doing Vines for a little while there when Vine was a thing that you could just do. And one of the things he would do is, I gotta put the mirror here. That's C8. That's this here, right? Yeah. Well, I just pulled this mirror out. Sometimes the numbers on this are hard to read. 7, 4, 10, 8. Okay, it's this mirror. Is that right? This doesn't seem right. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure that I'm grabbing the right thing here. And the numbers on these sometimes are hard to read. But that is an 8. It doesn't look like the right rear view mirror though, so that's why I'm like, this seems like these are side view mirrors. It's not the rear view mirror, so I gotta look and find the right rear view mirror, which is not that. It's Y parts. Okay, sorry. So the only thing I care about with E3 dying is the death of Giant Bomb Nitrous. Well, so here's the thing. Even if PlayStation doesn't have a big presence there, they're still going to have people covering the event. So there will still be a reason for people to go to E3 to cover E3. That hasn't changed yet. Will that change in the future? I assume so. I assume there will come a day where people are not at E3 covering E3 like we're used to them covering E3. I fully believe that will happen. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I am confident it will. I think we're still a few years off of that happening, but it's likely that we're just like getting close to it being a done deal, and people not like going to it. I can't find this rearview mirror because this is that's G1. Okay, so this is G. So this is C. Is this C? B. This is B. This is C. Okay. Here it is. I found it. I don't know why I couldn't find it, but I couldn't find it. I've not been a fan of the ESA after they doxed the media. Yes. Exactly. So that's the other thing. Like, there are people who cannot turn, like, folks that are at big companies that can change their information to use their company address, that don't work from home, or they do work from home, but they can say they can give a company, whatever. They can minimize their own personal information that goes out there. They're going to be okay. It's the smaller people that it's a big deal for them to go, that this is, consistently going to be an issue. And I'm hopeful that something gets settled and worked out and they can be okay. But I don't know. All right, so we're just going to fit this in here. This is going to go like that. That's how that looks. So one thing I'm going to try to do is connect this in a way where I'm not going to melt the plastic, because using the liquid cement on like parts like this could theoretically damage the could damage it, and you end up with like, or what happens is I might get liquid cement on here and then my fingers touch it, and then that causes my fingerprint to actually appear on it. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the part that you're not going to see. I'm applying liquid cement here to areas that will connect it, but are not going to be as visible. And the hope is that by doing that, I will minimize the risk of it being of like my fingerprints getting on there and then literally being my fingerprints being melted onto it. Also, it's nice that I could just take a couple of days off to see all the press conferences instead of at random dates throughout the year. Yeah, I mean, look, I didn't watch that Pokemon Nintendo Direct. I just read reports of it, right? It is one thing to be able to like be immerse yourself in those games, um, but I also understand that like people were just like, oh, Sony will be back. Like, yeah, they took last year off because they didn't have anything to show. It's like, no, they took last year off because they were like, this is going in a direction that isn't going to be good for us, and we don't want to feel like obligated to be part of the direction that this show is going. Um, they're just, and maybe they're accelerating, but also, yeah, I like. It would be great if my friends didn't get doxxed. That's my wild stance on current events. It would be awesome if my friends were not risking harm in order to do their jobs. That's a wacky Pat Baer belief right there. Also, I guess too bad that it's a missed opportunity if Activision doesn't do a bunch of events called Activision Activations. It is a missed opportunity if they aren't calling them Activision Vations. No, that's a terrible name that I'm sure is already on several Google Docs. Lord Crash did some redeem points for me to play the soundboard. Oh, soundboard. Here we go. Let's start with, and of course, and everyone's favorite, and one of my favorites. Thank you for using your points for that soundboard. Let's reapply a little bit of liquid cement. There's just a little tiny groove here where it wants me to place this rear view mirror. So I am carefully trying to find it so that I can apply this where it needs to go. There's just a little tiny indent in the plastic, but my lighting is giving me problems seeing it, or my poor eyesight, I should also say, means that it's hard to see where that was. So I'm going to try to find it by putting my hand. There he goes. Yes, if I'm putting it in my hand, oh nope, this is gonna be tough. I'm gonna apply a dot where this indent is. They require Activision to have video games. Yeah, I mean they're still gonna have video games. They might not have a lot of games, but also if you don't have a lot of video games, that's where activations come in, because that way you're promoting what you do have. You're saying we are focusing on our core offerings this quarter. Things that we think are really going to like hit our targeted demographics, maximize our ability to monetize teens. No one actually says that. That was just a GDC thing, as far as I know. That's a meme. It's a good meme, but I don't know if that actually had legs or if that was a one-off. All right, so we're gonna let this sit and hopefully set. Hopefully this review is gonna set, but let's let that sit for a second there. Our next step is we could just clip out some stuff that we're going to be putting on this as we let that rear view mirror set. We can just snip out what we need here, which are some windshield wipers, some front windshield wipers, some back windshield wipers. You know, the whole thing. Monetize the teens, indeed. Diablo branded Cheetos. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to say what their big plans are, but they've got them. Gotta energize. You know, that terrible document thing that went around for E3 of like, or EA of like, ways they're gonna engagement with social things and morality points, all this other bullshit. You know, I mean, it's just people being paid to write nonsense and to fill pages of boxes. All right, so that was two. So that was that's B. This is 2. B2 is B2 is the rear windshield. Okay, so we're going to put that aside. That's the rear one. These are very small, so I am trying to be careful. And the last car I did here, I applied these wrong, so I just put them on the wrong one. So I put up a video about the anime awards and kind of like my picks and whatever, and things that I was like thinking are going to win, and things that I was like, oh, these are like, I don't know the show. And one thing I did hear from somebody was, how do you not watch like the things that are really popular? And I was like, I don't know if some of these were popular. Maybe, like Stars Align. The show Stars Align. Apparently people really like it. The only thing I've ever heard about Stars Align is that it's about tennis, that the closing theme is good, and it is. Closing sequence is very good. And that like there was a lot of issues with the production company getting like screwed over, and like maybe being forced to close, and maybe like there was like money stuff happening. But that's like all I've ever heard about that anime. No one I know is watching it. That's obviously not an indication of quality, but it's generally like I follow people that talk about that work. I follow people that work for Crunchyroll and work for Verve. It's a Verve I follow people that work for High Dive, that work for Funimation. I follow people that are voice actors and obsessed with anime. I follow people who are like way more into anime than I am. And no one I know has ever said anything about the show, with the exception of, I remember like months ago, someone was like, this is my favorite like ending song of the year. And it's their ending theme, which is like a fun, just like J-Rock song, but it's like different characters from the show dancing, and some of them dancing in pairs, but it's like a very good indication of their characters. It's really well done. How popular contenders. So Epic Open World, apparently it's a drama about like at least this one dude, if not other people, and it's like a high school drama, and there's some like apparently some really serious things, and then also it's about tennis. But I don't know. I just know that it like got some praise, and but like, yeah, the general sentiment was, I mean, the real big one was, I'm going to look up the name. So, I'm literally going to the Anime Awards, listing, because I need to see the name of this anime, because I keep forgetting it. So, one of the nominees for Best Anime of the Year is a show that I didn't hear the name of until I looked at this list of Anime of the Year. It's called O Maidens in Your Savage Season. Now, that's not saying that this show is like bad or good or whatever. It's nominated. It's Anime of the Year. You would think I would have heard of this anime before me. Maybe I would have heard of O Maidens in Your Savage Season. I have not. Prince of Tennis was nice as a TV style show. It was super ridiculous by the end of it. Yes. I mean, it got like, that's a Prince of Tennis is not a sports anime. That's a fucking shonen. That's a shonen posing as a sports anime. Or at least it evolved into a shonen. I guess I could be generous and say that it evolved into one. But yeah, that show goes places. Okay, so windshield wipers. We got a little bit of a peg here, so we're gonna put a little dab and a little dab, and then we'll place our windshield wipers when we need them. And yeah, there'll be a little dab where we want to place them, and then set them basically where we want them to be. Like that, nice and easy. We're just going to put a little dab where we want them, and trying to keep away from the clear plastic, and keeping the our liquid cement to the where you won't be able to see it, because we don't want it to melt there. We want to melt where we're putting our windshield wipers. And then we'll just use our thumb to kind of hold it down where we want it. Oops. Yep. And all right, we're just letting it go there. The title sounds like a non-safe for work show. Yeah, I'm almost halfway through Cells at Work, and hasn't really hooked me yet. I wasn't expecting to be so Monster of the Week. Lastbrook, so it is Monster of the Week. I mean, look, you're going to meet a lot of awesome characters. You're going to meet a lot of supporting characters that feel like they are guest stars that then come back. You're not really going to see a lot of monsters show up again, but it's going through diseases of the body. And it is a little bit Monster of the Week, but it's all from a very accurate place, which is the weirdest part of it, is that, like, it is, like, you're, like, it's accurate. It's very strange. It's a strange show. I really liked it. I grew to really love the characters, and the main characters, and I think it's a really fun opening theme. And of course, the platelets are just the best. Those little our fun friends, the platelets, just doing their best, making things happen, trying to be real positive young people and helping out. But yeah, if it's not hooking you, it's not hooking you. I mean, for me, it was immediate. It was an immediate, like, this is, oh, hey, here's one of my favorite shows of the season. This might be my actual favorite show of the season. At least, at the time, it was. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, if it's not hitting you, it's not hitting you. So I know what my next video is going to be. My next Baer's Anime Club. I'm going to tackle fan subs in 2020. Because I'm very tempted to watch a show that I can't watch legally in the U.S. It's not that Dorohedro, is not available in the United States right now. It is a show that is currently airing in Japan. Netflix owns the rights and is broadcasting it on Japanese Netflix. It does not have it in the U.S. on U.S. Netflix. And is also on television in Japan. So I could find it on a website if I wanted to. And, if I really wanted to watch it and it was out on Netflix in the US, then I could, but what we don't know is, will it appear on US Netflix at some point? After the season's over, will it just get dumped there? Will it show up in a couple weeks? Does Crunchyroll, not Crunchyroll, does Netflix even have the license in the United States? Does anyone? Do they only do it in Japan? I don't know. I do not have an answer. So right now, there is no way for me to legally watch a show that I'm interested in. And so I'm currently debating it. I hope that in 2 weeks I have a more full thought out answer so that I can talk about it my next video. Because right now I don't have a good answer for it. It's not frustrating, but it's interesting to think about in this day and age. Like, there are shows that are, a lot of shows that are on Funimation are also on Hulu, but not every show. Nikupara, the show Nikupara, I have no way of watching right now because I have Crunchyroll, I have Amazon Prime, and I have Hulu. I don't have Funimation. So Nico Para, I can't watch because it's not available on anything I have. But it's available. If I really wanted to watch it, I could wait for the shows to be over and then get like a trial on Funimation, or just get Funimation. I could do that. But right now, it's not something that I can just watch. But that's different from, to me, it's very different from Dorohedoro, which I can't watch. There's no version of it that's legal. And I don't know. That's interesting to me. I haven't put enough thought into it. In general, I'll say this as I try to get this going here because I think I might have put the wrong one on. I think this one was supposed to go on there. Whatever. I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to do that right now. Just put that on there. Yeah, that'll do. What was I going to say? So, right now, I only, and of course, this is my choice. It's not, it's certainly not something that I'm advocating people do, or whatever. I generally only watch fan subs of things that are OVAs, that are not available in the US. That's kind of where I've felt the need. Like, sometimes Crunchyroll will license the OVA. I'm thinking of what do they pick up? If you want to watch the OVA for Dragon Maid, you could do that. But if you want to watch the OVA for New Game, the OVA that came out in between the seasons of New Game, you can't do that. They don't have that. If you want to watch any of the OVAs for One Punch Man, if you want to watch any of the OVAs for Food Wars, well, those aren't on sites that are streaming. They were released on Blu-rays. They were extras. They didn't appear anywhere, so you can't just find them. So you would have to watch a fan sub of that in order to experience it. And again, I'm not advocating for any of that. I'm not saying that's the thing to do. I'm not saying that's like what people should do. I've certainly covered some fan subs here and there along the way, and I will most likely do it again. But yeah, it's a weird thing. I find in that case, in the cases of like, well, this is how you can experience this, is you have to find the thing you want to watch, and you have to like go out of your way to get the fan sub of it, and then you can watch it. Like, yeah, sometimes that's the way to do it. It's the only way to do it. Why is that telling me one number that's just wrong? What sheet is this? This is not. It says number 4, but that doesn't look like the right piece. Pat telling chat to break the law. That's what I'm saying, Epic. So it's like that thing of like, I'm not here to tell people that. But like I said, that's how I've been able to experience some anime has been by using fan sites. Yeah. I mean, that also one of the reasons why I started including links to or at least telling you where I'm watching a show, is to hopefully make it easy for people to go to those sites to see that stuff. The hope is that, like, if I'm telling you, hey, this is where I saw this, then it gives you the ability to go and see the thing that I'm talking about. If I'm telling you, like, where I watched it, maybe you can go and watch it there. It's okay. We have Napster back there. But I mean, that's the thing. Like, and look, I owned fan subs. That's how I watched anime. I watched a lot of anime and fan subs. That's how you did it. Back in my day, that's how we watched our shows. Was we got fan subs of the things that we were interested in. And then sometimes we watched things that we weren't even interested in just because we wanted to watch anime. And that's what you did. That's how you watched the shows you wanted to watch. Was you got tapes from friends. Well, I don't know what W4 is. I don't know where W is. It's G4. This is G, I guess. Yeah. This is G. I don't know where W is. Let's see. This is... Alright, I'm going to look at this sheet here. Tell me where what W is. W parts. That's... Oh! Okay, hold on. I know where this is a... I realized what I did wrong. Hold on a second. I gotta go get a thing. There. Ah, yes. The side mirrors are silver, and I didn't know that. That is the issue I've been having, folks. I couldn't find my side mirror things because they were on a sheet here. This is where the wheels were, and I thought it was just the wheels. It's not just the wheels. It's also the side mirrors. The side mirrors are chrome. There we go. That was my problem. So we're back in business now. But yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, if I shouldn't use the excuse. I should not use the excuse that me getting this show that is not Dorohedoro. I say Dorohedoro sometimes. It's Dorohedoro. Me getting Dorohedoro, like watching it, is me giving coverage of it. Like, I shouldn't say that because it's not true. There's so many shows that I talk about. I don't need to watch everything and talk about everything. It's really just that's a show that I want to watch, and it's annoying that I can't watch it. Like, that's the real part of it. Is that, like, well, I can't have that, so now I want it. And this is a great season so far. We've only had one show that I quit so far. There's one I'm on the fence on, and one show that episode 2 was today, and I'm done. We'll get to that after the pause of the cause. I'll talk about that because, oh boy, I'm done with the show. I didn't think I would be done after. Normally, I will give things 3 episodes. This show gets 2 episodes. It got 1.5, legitimately. I could go back to it if people are like, oh, it got good, but I know it's not going to get good. It's not going to just suddenly be a show I want to see. Okay, there's a lot of bleed on this chrome, so I got to be careful. This chrome, liquid cement with this chrome is instantly changing this black. So it's most likely just melting it right off. So I got to be careful with the other one. So we'll let those set for a second, and we can do the other parts that need to go on here. A13. And this is C. This is It's not A. This is G. So we need that. Where is A? Which one of you is A? You have to tell me if you're A. This is... This is A. These are not great at like finding the notification of where things go on here is a little tricky. Finding the little spot that's telling you where the letter is. I bet it's a show with animals in a school. Epic! Ding, ding, ding! You're right. That is the show that I was already on the fence about after one episode because of a choice that they decided to make that I didn't love. And then they continued to just make more and more things, that more and more choices that I was like, oh, this is a bad choice. Oh, this is a bad choice. And I did not finish the episode. They were going to introduce a character that they were like, hey, we're teasing a character. And I was like, nope. Good night to you, Harold. Hopefully you can join me Wednesday for a little bit. It's my next gaming stream. It's a Twitch Sing stream on Wednesday at 9 p.m. And then my normal building stream on Thursday. Have a good night, Harold. Good to see you, my friend, as always. But yeah, that show is bad. But we'll talk about it after the pause of the calls. I'm going to try to get some of this on here, and then we'll talk about there. No need to do a lot of glue on here, or cement, I should say. Just enough to get the piece in place, and it should stay pretty in place because there is an indent and there's room for it. The excess off. Yeah, so I'm just putting a little bit of clear plastic in here for the lights of the car, the reflectors. Not hard to do, but because there's a nice indent there, we don't have to put a lot of liquid cement here. Just kind of line it up and place it where we want it, and that'll look pretty nice. Yeah. And then we got to put the front license plate on, or where the holder for the license plate decal on, and you just see where that goes. It just goes here. Yep. It's just going to go on the grill. Tacks right onto the grill. Okay. But yeah, I'm going to put these couple pieces on, then we'll take our pause for the call to talk about ways you can support the stream. Reminder, if you use Twitch Prime, you got to manually renew that. That's a great way to support the stream, is to use your Twitch Prime coin, link your Amazon with your Twitch, or you could use Cash Money if that's something you'd like to do to become a subscriber. It's a great way to support the channel and my various endeavors. Get this on here. All right, so we'll let that sit there. Front license plate, and we will now attach the windshield, or not the windshields, the mirrors, the side mirrors. An indent where the car goes. Cash, yes. Bits and coins always appreciated. Cash Money, or becoming a subscriber using your dollars and cents. I'm having a little trouble seeing on this kit where these should go, so I'm going to be a little careful with it. I'll just apply this here. Often there is a bit of an indent in the plastic that's like, this is where you should put this. If there is, yes, there is on here. It's just hard to see because it's just a little indent on yellow. So now I'm just going to hold this here for a little while. Yeah, we're going to talk about some anime. I'm also going to link to a GoFundMe. as with everything that I'm going to talk about in the pause for the cause, which is going to start in a moment or two, you're under no obligation to do it. It's just an extra thing. It's just a little thing that I'm doing that you could be a part of if you wanted to. And basically what it is, as you know, my plan is to go to PAX East and do a couple panels. I am guesting on at least one panel right now. I'm waiting to hear about another one. And I am running 2 panels of my own. And I am looking for support, financial support, to make that happen. I will link a GoFundMe here. I will certainly be talking about it on Wednesday, and until it goes. My goal for the day was to hit $100. I'm at $75 the last time I looked. I will look again once we get to that point. This is not working right. There we go. But yeah. Also after the Baer stream, people should go to Kate Stark's stream. She's doing a charity stream. Yes, for the Firesale show. Yes, Epic. We are going to raid Kate's stream after the stream is over. We will do a semi-rare raid, but we will be going there and supporting Kate, who just had her 4-year anniversary as a streamer, which is rad. But we will go and support her as well. Yes, no, but yeah, we will definitely be doing that. If she's still running her stream, then we will do it. And yeah, I'm just going to attach this here. See if I can get this to set. Yep. And then we will take our pause for the cause. Talk about ways you can support the stream if that's something you'd like to do. These will not be perfect, but they will exist and be things. And that is the best we can do. All right, let that dry. These might fall off. I might have to redo them. I might have to do them off stream. That's fine. We'll move on to the back in a moment or two. But yeah, drink some water. Thank you, Ultron. I am going to drink a little water. Now's a good time for you guys to, like stretch your legs, stand up. If you haven't done that in a while, I'm going to drink a little water. As said, thank you very much for watching the stream. I'm going to actually seal this up here. Reduce the fumes a little bit. Not that many fumes, but there's more fumes than a normal build stream. Honk indeed. Thank you for hanging out here at the Build with Baer workshop. If you're a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave emote, you can throw the Lego emote, you can throw the Scythe emote in the chat. If you're a tier 2, you get the Scythe. Thank you very much. Epic just finished dinner. Heck yeah. But yeah, here are ways you can support the stream if that's something you'd like to do. Again, this will be quick so that we can get back to building, but I do want to just quickly go through the ways that you can support if that's something you'd like to do. First and foremost, become a subscriber. Use Twitch Prime Coin. Use your Amazon thing as it said there. Use Cash Money. That's one way to do it. I have a Patreon. Patreon gets a lot of information. The $5 and $10 patrons get videos early. The $1 and $3 get a monthly Q&A, and the $3 can vote at least once a month, if not more, on what I'm playing, games I'm playing. So that's a fun one. That's just another way to support the stream if you don't want to go through Amazon. I have an Amazon wish list that includes at the very bottom is a good pair of snipper clips. That is a good pair of snippers are at the very bottom of the list, along with an expensive chair that I don't, whatever. That's mostly just there. But yeah, we got $20 Lego sets. We've got some high grades, 144 scale that are reasonably priced. Some have Amazon Prime, some don't. The Red Beret. The Red Beret, I'm speaking too fast, from Gundam Build Divers is on sale for $19, but not free shipping. That's a fun-looking kit. I like the head on that kit. It's good head on that kit. Got a bunch of stuff that's on sale and priced well, and things that I would like to build on stream that you could purchase, and then I'll build it. And at the very bottom, as I said, is a pair of clippers that were better than my old clippers. They're better than this pair of really worn ones. The side cutters. They look real good, and they're available for purchase if that's something you wanted to buy. For me, you could do that. Of course, under no obligation to do that. Snipper Club is also a great Switch game. It is, Lord Crashton. That's a fun party game. You're not wrong. That's a fun game for people that are like, what can we play on the Switch? And you're like, oh, shit. I got this thing. Let's play that. You could buy a gift card to USA Gundam Store if you wanted to do that. That's another way to support the stream if you didn't want to go through Amazon and you wanted to buy me gift cards, then I would buy something from there. You could do that. I also have donations. I have various ways to donate that you could do if that's something you want to do. Bits and coins always appreciated as well. These are just simple ways you can support the stream if that's something you like to do as we continue to build and to do things here. It all goes to buy kits and equipment. If I get a good donation coming in, I'll buy my own pair of good snipper clips via donation if that comes through. It's not necessary. I have a Discord. You could join my Discord. That would be neat. If you wanted to join my Discord, you could join my Discord. Here's the link to it. And then I said this. I have, right now, a GoFundMe. And you could donate to that if you wanted to. It is to get me to PAX East. It is, let's see here. It is to pay for my train travel and a very reasonably priced Airbnb. Now, the Airbnb that I'm looking at right now, that I want, there's a couple that are very reasonably priced and similar. They are, you got to ride the subway and all that, or the T and all that, and it's fine. The cheapest one is is basically a living room, and it literally listed kitchen access, but please do not cook. So they basically mean like I can use the fridge, but they don't want me to cook. And I was like, yeah, all right, no problem. I will sleep on a couch in the living room. There's a divider there. For the amount of money you're charging, sure. And how close it is to the convention center, sure. But that's the thing that's happening right now. I am at $75 of my $500 goal. If you can give to that, that would be great. You're under no obligation to do any of that. So here's Pat Bear's Anime Club, episode 8. We talked about already the Anime Awards preview in February. I will be doing a stream where we watch the Anime Awards, and I co-stream it and give some commentary, so you can watch my video where I preview and I show my picks. And then last Wednesday, I debuted a brand new series. This coming Wednesday, will be the next episode of Baering the List, which is an ongoing show where I rank things using Tier Maker. And my first episode is about Class 1A from My Hero Academia. And it takes into account how much of a good boy Deku is. And if I had done this tier list before recent episodes of My Hero Academia, I might have put Red Riot lower on the list. But Red Riot stepped the fuck up. Red Riot, who is like, in my mind, there's like, this is the main character, this is the interesting character, and then it's like, here's a bunch of characters that could have been the main character. Like, his backstory is, he could easily be a main character. This has got a fun look about him. But yeah, so those are those things. Now, let's get back to building, and of course, let's talk about anime. Let's start with the best show of the season so far. We are so early in the season, y'all. I'm saying so far, but keep your hands off Eizouken. Holy shit, please watch this. There's only 2 episodes so far. It's on Crunchyroll. It's fucking lovely. It's a love letter to animation. It's about these high school kids who like want to make an anime because they fucking love anime. And it's inventive, and you see what they're imagining the animated show they could do, and they were like working, like a lot of it's like very true to form, and the concept art they're doing, it's about an incredibly expressive manga. A story that has come out that to me is incredible, and like I can't believe is real, is that apparently the director who also directed Devilman Crybaby One of the reasons why he's doing this project is, he was talking to the studio and they were listing projects that they were interested in, and maybe he could direct something. And they said like Eizouken, and he went, I've heard that, because not everybody who's directing, they don't read every manga. There's a lot of manga out there. And he goes, I've heard of that. He's like, why have I heard of that? And he goes, oh yeah, people online say I should direct that. Let's look at that. So because he like looked up his own name on the internet, and people were like fan casting the director, they were like fan producing, I guess you could say. Like, they were like, oh, you know who should direct it? This dude should direct that show. If there's ever an anime, he should direct it. And he was like, huh, okay, well, let's talk about this show that I should be directing. And now he's directing it. And that's like, that shit doesn't happen. It's cool as hell. Hell, what's up, Dirty? But Eizouken is a really clever, really interesting show. It's very inventive. The art style is rad. Like, it is a love letter to anime. And as someone that really likes anime, I dig it. It is so far my show of the season. I just think that it's really inventive and really clever, and a great show. So I highly recommend it. It's only 2 episodes so far because we're new into the season. Keep your hands off Eizouken. Really fucking good. Let's see. What else is good? Room Camp. So Room Camp right now is the spin-off of Heya Camp. Or it's called Heya Camp, and here it's called Room Camp. It's the laid-back camp spin-off. It's the comedic spin-off. So I thought this was just going to be the little extra bonus things that are at the end of the episodes where they're just in the room and they're just kind of goofing on. No, there's a story. It's them following this like stamping in location scavenger hunt of Mount Fuji related things in their local town. And it's basically just be like, here's a cool place that exists in reality. Let's talk about it for a second, and then let's have a little bit of a gag. And they're 3-minute episodes, like 3.5 with the closing song. And it's not much to it. And I'm not saying that it's like great, but it's like fun. It's fun as hell. I'm having a really good time with it, and I think that you might like it. I'll say this, y'all. Maybe for Heya Camp, wait till it's over. I'll tell you when it's done, because they're 3-minute episodes, and you can just watch all of it at once, and that might be the way to do it, right? That might just be the way to do it. It's a good show, but it's, there's small little episodes, and it's fine. And then, let's see. So Yatogame-chan is another... This is season 2 of Yatogame-chan, which is another, like, comedy short thing. Very short little 3-minute thing. It was about a guy that moves to Nagoya, and it's all about the cultural differences there. Well, now we got a girl that moved from Tokyo, and it's basically the same thing, but now with this new girl. And I don't know why they made that choice, but they did make that choice to just do the same exact thing they did in the first season now, instead of forwarding this, like, let's learn about this area, and then also maybe these characters are into each other, these high school kids, but who knows? I don't know. It's a weird choice. I don't know if it's a bad choice, but it is a weird one. And then, what was I going to say? And then Seton Academy. Join the pack. This is the show that I'm done with. I stopped halfway through the episode. And unless someone tells me something incredible about it, I'm done. I said that the red flag for me outside of the premise that was good. Okay, so first, the premise. If you missed last Monday, here's the premise. Premise is, anthropomorphized animals can communicate with each other and humans, and they go to school. And there's a school where the bunch of them there, and then because like packs exist, pack mentality exists, like bears hang out with bears, and horses hang out with horses, and they're led by a zebra, and then it's revealed zebras aren't horses. They're different. They're more like donkeys. It's a whole thing, and there's a pack mentality, right? That's a general thing in the show. Well, there's only one wolf, and there's only two humans, and they're going to get thrust together. And then they're going to start a cooking class because animals don't cook. They just eat food raw. So they're going to start a cooking club, or cooking club. And it's like, that's a fun enough premise. It'll be a ragtag bunch. You can see there's like a koala, and there's some sort of fungal thing that I wasn't sure what that was. And there was like at least a couple other creatures that were going to join the pack. And you get this ragtag pack of whatever. And the wolf is pink-haired and fun and like kind of dumb, but like loyal and nice. So, okay, maybe I'll be into the show. But so all of the male characters in the show are just like a bear that walks on its back legs and talks and wears clothes. But all the females are basically just human females that have some fur and cat ears or whatever and tails. And otherwise they're just girls. And that sucks. And then the show was like, you know, it'll be fun. Let's give you a koala fact. So apparently, koalas just eat eucalyptus all day, right? Well, eucalyptus, you can't really just fucking eat eucalyptus because it'll poison you. So they need to create antibodies for this poison. But they can't on their own. So they need to be introduced to these antibodies. And the way that this is true, apparently, the way that happens is that the mother koala secretes some of it by not chewing the eucalyptus and just swallowing the eucalyptus whole and then pooping it out. And then the baby eats the poop. And they wanted us to know that as a fun fact in this show. Because that's the food item that this koala has been searching for her whole life. And that's the reason she joined the club, was to discover this. Because she eats some poorly prepared food done by the fox, who doesn't know anything about cooking. And is like, this is the thing I've been searching for. Oh no, I now know what I've been searching for. It's this awful food. And I was like, oh, I'm done with this show. I was already on the fence, and then they were like, this'll be fun, right? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm done. So it could turn out to be great. Also, she was very happy to eat it. And she was like, you better eat this. You know, she was telling the other people, you better eat this before I eat it. She was very happy to have her shit-tasting food that she remembered. And I don't want to watch that show anymore. As I said, it could turn out to be a great anime. And I really fucked up by casting it aside. It could turn out that I really fucking goofed, and you can't believe that I stopped watching this great show. But I bet not. I bet this show just gets worse, and I bet it gets really weirdly horny and sexist and bad, and the cool premise is not worth this show, this mediocre thing. So guess what, y'all? I ain't watching it. I'm done. I am done with. Congratulations, Seton Academy joined the pack. You're the first show I gave up watching. And here I thought it was going to be Asteroid in Love, which I've watched 2 episodes of and is fine, but I'm still going to watch the 3rd episode of because there's something about it that's interesting. I'm sticking with that, but I'm not sticking with the other show. So congratulations, Seton Academy. You suck worse than a show that I think is meh. Fucking fuck. And then One Piece was fucking weird. One Piece was weird as shit. This episode of One Piece. So, last episode, the fallout of the fight between Kaido and Luffy happened, where Luffy got captured and is in some sort of prison thing, where Kid is also there, Kid the pirate. And it was like tense and like, oh boy, what's going to happen? And holy shit, everyone found out. And they did this gag where several people were like, oh, a picture of Luffy in this poster. And they had these like terrible, like shocked faces. And they made everybody very funny. That they did with several characters, but not Zoro. Zoro was just like, what's Luffy doing? And it was fun. And then this week they were like, hey, remember old characters? Here's some characters you maybe forgot. Here's Mihawk. He was badass. Let's check in with Mihawk. And then they're like, hey, remember that shitty dude from Thriller Bark? He's alive. Let's go see him and have him interact with fucking Teach. And let's go see Blackbeard and a bunch of weird characters we don't care about, and we'll introduce some new ones. And it's like, okay, is this filler? Was this in the manga? I know that we're ending act. I think they might be on hiatus for a little bit. I think they might be taking a break. If not, this is the end of the first act of the Wano arc. Sure, I'm not really sure what's going on, but sure. And then Blackbeard, the pirate, Teach, says, haven't you heard what's been going on? And then just tells us about a bunch of cool shit that we should be checking out. Like, oh, the revelry's been happening, and fucking Sabo and the Revolutionary Army is fighting a bunch of admirals. That's happening. There's apparently Big Mama's on her way to Wano. It's been so long I couldn't tell you if it was filler or we just forgotten. Yeah. Big Mama's coming to Wano. So that's happening. And there was some other thing going on. And it was like, hey, why didn't I see any of that cool shit? Why instead did I have fucking zombie controlling goof who I thought was dead yelling about the guy that can turn invisible? What's happening? I don't know. It was very confusing and very weird. And it's also the thing of like, hey, a minor character you forgot about is dead now. And I don't even, you know what? I'm not even going to say who. A dude is dead. And it doesn't fucking matter at all. Does not matter at all. Do not worry about it. Some dude is dead. So I'm going to try to let all of this dry before I assemble because I have to kind of snap this in place. And I'm afraid that so much of this is going to fall off if I go to do that. So instead, let's put on some decals. Water transfers, I should say. Because we have a few decals to put on here. So we're going to put a few on. um, water transfers. And I'm going to do this now because my fear is that if I go to put this on here, then things are just going to fall off that I just glued on. So I want to give it time to adhere. So I'll kind of wait on it until basically the end. Okay, 17 is the license plate. What's this? 1720. Okay. So I just got a bunch of numbers I can put on the license plate. And we just have to make sure we pick the same numbers for the top and bottom. But anyway, it was kind of a tease. This one piece after last week was so good. This one was not great. I don't know what we're going to put on our numbers here. Got room for like 2 numbers, I think. So let's just do 00. We're just gonna. So I'm just cutting this here. Oops. And I'm going to try to make things even. And okay. We're going to cut these out here. And we'll apply. Yeah. So yeah, well, one piece was disappointing, which is a shame. I haven't seen Inspector. I plan on checking that out. Because that seems like it might be good. I know some people who liked the first episode. They thought that the dude was pretty cool. And so I am going to check out Inspector. That's the one show that I'm like, all right, let me give this a shot that I haven't checked out yet. I might watch Plunderer. I didn't watch the first episode of Plunderer because the preview I saw of it did not interest me in the slightest. So I was like, I'm probably not going to watch Plunderer. But I might check it out after the fact. Or this week. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Because there are like... I'm watching a good, healthy amount of shows. And in fact, my Thursday... by the time I, stream on Thursday, I will have... some shows to watch. I'll have Black Clover, Orphan, Buffery, and Infinite Dendrogram. Infinite Dendrogram is such a bad fucking name, man. It's such a bad... It's just bad. It's just a bad name. Infinite Dendrogram. God damn it, that's a bad name. I've heard nothing good about Darwin Game. I haven't been watching that. If you've been watching anything, let me know. Yeah, I haven't heard anything good about Dendrogram, or not that. I'm trying to think if there's any other anime that people have been hyped about that I haven't watched. But I can't think of anything off the top of my head that people are like, oh, have you been watching this? It's very good. Haven't seen anything like that, so... I don't know. Trying to think if there's anything else that I've been watching. But yeah, if you've been watching anything, let me know what your anime is this season, or what you're watching. Oh, I think what I'm supposed to actually... They want me to do is put 17 on first, and then put the numbers on that. Oh, I fucked this up. Okay. I fucked up. Put that aside. I now realize what they want me to do is put... I don't know. I'm not going to worry about the license plate. I decided I'm not going to worry about these numbers. I'm going to let that go. And instead, we're going to put on the Red Suns logo. We'll leave the license plate blank because that way they can't get you. They can't find your license plate. They don't know. They can't track you. Even if it says your name right there. Even if you have the logo right there saying who you are. They can't get you. if you got your logo. So we'll put the Red Suns logo there. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Okay. No anime, but I've beaten all of the Wing stories and SD Gundam crossovers, and started Seed in about 40 hours and 30% completion. It's a lot, Pat. Ultron, that sounds like work. I hope you were enjoying it, but that sounds like a lot of fucking bullshit. I hope it's great and rad, and it's like you're doing it because you're like, oh, I'm completing this because I can't wait to play more, and this is the thing. This is my jam. This is my thing. This is what I'm about. Because that's a lot. My voice cracked there. That's how much I think that's a lot. Let's go. I do like tactic games. Well, good. I'm glad you like them. Because if you didn't like it and you were just doing it because you like Gundam, like that would be bad. That would be very bad, my friend. All right. So we got to put we're doing some Red Suns logos here. We're going to let that sit for just a second. Pull out one. Where's this? So this goes over the wheel well. Find the edge. Separate it. All right. Oh, needs a little more time in there, so we'll put that in there for a second. But yeah, I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other shows. Like I said, the big one that I was interested in that I can't watch, I've been thinking like, well, do I look for it on a fan site? Or do I look to see if anybody's got it? Do I wait to see if Hulu is actually going to license it? Do I just, what am I going to do? I'm not sure. I literally don't know right now. Because it's not like I'm like devastated that I can't watch it, but I also want to watch it because it looked cool as hell. That's the show about a world where there are magic users and they do experiments on humans, and a guy now has a lizard head, and he doesn't have any memories of what happened to him or how that happened to him. So he is hunting to find the sorcerer who did it, and he bites sorcerers in the head, and then inside his mouth area is a man who just asks. He just normally says, "You are not the one," and that's it. And there's like gang system, and it's a whole thing, and it looks cool and weird, and it's a CG show, but it looks awesome. And I like that his female partner, who to live in the hole, which is the area that the humans live in, to live and survive there, you've got to be tough. And even though she does apparently get attacked in the first episode, she is tough as shit and like generally does a great job, and is competent, and also isn't like it's gritty. Yeah, it's grimy, but like she still seems rad as hell, even if she did get attacked in the first episode. His partner just seems competent, and I'm excited about that. But yeah, I'm hoping that that Netflix puts it out here, or somebody else gets it. I don't know. The R in Red Suns is a little broken here, so I'm going to apply this and then try to fix the R. Okay. So we've applied our decals here, and these are going to take some time to dry. So we'll just let them sit there to dry. This is the most important decals, if anyone's, was those, and then anything else. I think like I'm kind of just going. I'm going to look at this here and make a decision on what else I want to put on here. If there's anything else I want to put on, the Red Suns is the most important part. I could put their sponsors on this if I wanted. Let's see. There's put something on there if I want to do that. Back decals. There's some names of stuff on here. I think I want to, yeah, I think that's to me is the most important thing. Was I wanted it to say Red Suns, and now it does. So let's try to assemble this and finish assembly. Let's see if we can do that. There's more. Did I not put front? I guess I may have. No, I put the front ones on. Did I miss a step here? I got some pieces here that. No. Guess not. There's some other plastic here you can put on. We'll leave that. There's a different spoilers on here. If you want to aftermarket this thing up some, there's some room for some aftermarket additions on here. If you want to put different wings on the vehicle, you could do that if that's something that you're into. You could also do black windshield wipers, and you could do a pure black oil tank, gas tank, I should say, muffler, whatever, instead of the yellow there. That's kind of cool. I like that there's some pieces in there if you want to mod this. But I think we're going to stick with how it looks. So now, let's do final assembly. And we are going to hopefully, and I say this, not knock anything off. And if we do knock anything off, we can put it back on. My goals here are to get this on without touching anywhere that it says Red Suns, so as to not ruin my decals. The instructions here, which are not always helpful, are basically it's got to like snap over, don't glue it. And this is gonna, yeah. All right, that went on way easier than I thought it was going to. This did fall off, so we do have to fix that. But the only thing that went weird is that, and I'll take it. I'm going to reattach this piece here. So, Epic Open World. Initial D is the story of a guy who's been trained to be an incredible downhill street racer, a mountain-specific street racer. Tokyo Drift kind of shit. Because the mountains have like lots of turns and corners you can go and you can drift around them and all that. Well, this dude doesn't know that that's what his dad was famous for this. He doesn't know. He's just a tofu delivery. His high school job is helping out his dad is to deliver tofu early in the morning. It's just that he learned by the car he's been driving, the 86, to just be a great downhill street racer. And then, kind of by chance, the job he gets working for a guy that knew his dad at a gas station, the other guys that work at the gas station, because they're into cars, are street racers. And they're not great street racers, but they're local. And so they have a lot of pride. And he finds out and gets better at street racing. It came out in the late 90s. Everything is digital, except the cars are CG, but the rear view mirror is always digital. So you can see like the backgrounds, but the car is done in CG. The CG doesn't hold up in the cars as well. As the show goes on, it gets better. but it doesn't start off particularly strong. Uh, it is a really fun show. Takumi, the main character, is a good dude. And here's the thing: it's late '90s, early 2000s, and the soundtrack is all Eurobeat. It's fucking so European, like techno. It's so good. Now this car is the Red Suns are the best of the best. They're like brothers and some other people on the team. The brother could go pro if he wanted to, but he's got this grand plan about like basically he's gonna get before he goes and becomes a doctor or something. Whenever he has to stop doing this, or live, he's got to finish his dream. He wants to like put together a team and go and conquer all of the records at all of these local places that normally the locals have the records for. And his younger brother is like the star driver, and he drives this car. And everyone is shocked when some nobody in an 86, which is not a sports car or like a tuned car, it's just a well-tuned car with a great engine in it, suddenly just does really well because he knows the locale really well. And then he gets challenged on other places, and it turns out it's not just that he knows that track really well, he just instinctively is fucking very good at racing. Takumi is kind of like, there's not a lot to the character, which is a bummer. Like, he does grow as a person, and he's got annoying friends, and that's a whole thing. I did a bad job on these decals, but please understand that Initial D rules. It's a very good show. It is a lot of fun. I'm actually going to try to fix this. I'm going to see if I can fix this. I'm going to put some water on this. Basically, the Red Suns on this side got separated. This side's bad. This thing still isn't set because I'm not giving it time to. I'm rushing when I don't need to, but I'm watering this. I'm wetting this and seeing if I can move either of them. Nope. All right, that's just going to look bad. Okay. Not the end of the world. Yeah, so it's an anime, it's a manga, it's a live action. There's a movie that's like a live action movie. The soundtrack rules. Fucking just really bad movie. There's a duo that is two girls. One is the driver and one's the navigator, and they're cool. There's a lot of cool characters in the show. Like, of course, at one point later in the series, there's another 86, just like the car he drives. And he's got a guy who's like kind of similar to him, but who's never like he races, but he doesn't care about racing. And there's goofy friends, and everyone's goofy and fun, and it's a good show. Anyway, that's Initial D. Initial D. And this is the Red Suns. What is this fucking? The FD3S. Right? Yes, the D. This is the FD. FD3S. Which I did not do a great job of decal work on, but is built and looks pretty great. I'm pretty happy with it. And that's build complete. Cooler than the cast. I mean, Epic World, here's the thing. It's, at the end of the day, it is just high school students. So, like, they're cool, but they're not, like, they're not super cool. I mean, some of them are older characters are pretty cool. There's like a dude that is definitely trying to hurt people and is like trying to win via intimidation, and that dude sucks ass. But like for the most part, it's a pretty chill anime. It's mostly about the love of driving. And Takumi's dad is great because he's just like a no nonsense, like smoking guy that owns a tofu shop but used to be like the fucking man in racing. All right. So that's our car. And I'm not going to start the next thing. We got an Exia to build. It's the last of. So I should say this, folks. I've only got one last thing in my Amazon wish list that has been delivered to me. I will be building the Exia next. I believe that's a Lashbrook purchase, if I remember correctly. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't remember. I apologize, Lashbrook, if that's not you, if that's someone else. I'll look it up before I start building it. I don't know who bought this. But I do have an Exia to build. And then, I don't have anything else off my wish list. So then I have some stuff in my own backlog, and I'll get to that. So if there's something you've seen on the out there that you're like, oh, I want to see Pat build this, you can buy it off my wish list, and I will build it on the stream. So if there's anything you'd like to see, now's a great time to pick something up. Before I have to put a poll up, it was me, Pat. I mean Austin. Yes, Lashbrook. It was you. It was you, Lashbrook. It was you all along. But yeah, I have an Exia. That's the next thing. I'm going to start that on Thursday. But as I said, my next build stream is going to be on Wednesday. I hope you can come hang out Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time for my next build stream, which is going to be what was I going to say? Oh yeah, my next build stream, which is on Wednesday, is it's not a build stream. It's a game stream. I'm going to do Twitch things on Wednesday. And then Thursday, I'll be building. And, yeah, as I said, decal work could have been better. But this is build complete, and I'm happy with it. That's the better side for me to take a photo of. But, yeah, thanks so much. We're going to raid Kate Stark here. So let me go and make sure that she's doing things. Kate is raising money for Australia. So we're going to see if she's halfway through. Yep, she is streaming. So we will go and raid her. You don't have to join in the raid, but I would love you to. And let's see. Yep. Thank you for this stream. That didn't work. Thank you also for hanging out. Let's see. There we go. That's what I need to do. Okay. So we are raiding. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you on the next stream. Bye-bye.